So first, let's start off with just having this type post. All right, then let's go into the code generator itself. So in this case, I've already written some boilerplates. So what it's doing is going to read, it's going to use the node read line and the fs on the path. So it's going to read the schema, yes, the hyphen schema. If you check into the command line, so let's say most of the time you want to do npm generate, and you want to specify the schema. So in this case, probably to be a schema dot API, so that the hyphen schema, then point it to the particular file that you're dealing with. And we have the output also behaving the exact same way. So out, and we say generated.ts or something like that, depending on where you want to put it at, or you want to even put it inside a source folder. You can definitely do that too as well. So uh, basically, that's what these two things are here for. It's telling us that you have to provide the schema and the output file. So if none of them is provided, then we throw. That's obviously we throw that. Okay. Now, then once we have that, we also want to read the path of the schema. So if let's say you specify schema.api, the cogen or the processor should start reading that file directly from this particular directory. So in this particular project, it's just going to read it from this directory and all that. So if it has to go back, you provide, let's say you want to, so npm generate schema, then do dot or slash. You have the schemas written somewhere or something like that. That kind of behavior, and that's what this piece of code is doing for us using the path of join and all that good stuff. All right. Then next we have the file reader. And we are creating a read stream because we're going to read per line and not read the entire file into memory, because it could potentially be that the file is pretty huge. You've put all your schemas in there. Since this is a basic code generator, you just want to put everything in one single file and then read that whole file. Instead of reading the whole file into memory, we are rather going to create a stream. So we're going to read per line of that particular single file, and then we're going to manipulate that data that comes in here for us. So that's why we are creating a read stream, and there's a create file reader create interface, basic node stuff. So we have the reader, so on read. So we have the on file reader on. So the event, so it's reading per line. You can provide other um, events, but we are just going for line. You can provide on close, which we have it. So when it's done reading that file and it's closing it, you can have a piece of code over here. So inside the on is where we are actually going to be doing all the manipulations, or how we are going to write that data into the file or something like that. And over in the on close, when the file is closed, we done reading the entire file. We simply just want to copy save all that data into the output file that we specified in the command line. All right, so basically that's it all. I just added this piece of code right here. So if the line starts with what's it, forward slash, basically it's kind of like you're creating a comment. So this is a comment, so it should just skip that and not use that particular and just move on to the next line. So that's what basically we are doing over here, just to help us. All right. Okay, so let's go into the whole thing itself. Here we have the line dot trim. So we are trimming the line for extra spaces provided somewhere that's something like this. So this is an extra space. So it's going to trim this extra space as well as this extra space. And this one will be kept there because it's between these two. All right. So let's get rid of this one. So this probably will be the only extra space there. So we trim that and we split by the space of a single space. So it will split by a single space. And once we split by that, we are going to have some spaces here We're going to have the user ID, this, and the integer and all that. So once we have that split, we also want to filter out and get only the text, the actual words themselves. So in this case, it will just return to us user ID, integer type, post the, and we have our separated what the curly brackets over there. Yeah, so that's the first part. So we have our text and the first word. The first word is these ones. So you have the type, user ID, title, body, and or a view.